Good morning. I'm Susan. I'm the owner of magicalforestbookstore.com, and I am here in my bookstore again. And today I want to talk about mysteries. Mysteries are my favorite genre. It's something I discovered when I was young and have explored again and again. I keep returning to them: Sherlock Holmes, Agatha Christie. Most recently, I love the Richard Osman series, the Thursday Murder Club series. Those are phenomenal. I highly encourage you to read them if you haven't. Richard Osman also is doing a series starting with We Solve Murders, which is another incredible book, and he's planning on expanding that according to the footnotes in his, or the endnotes in the Impossible Fortune book, the most recent one of the most recent book published by the Thursday Murder Club series. But I want to talk about how I started with this. So when I started reading and started learning and everything, I started with fairy tales and folk tales like most of us do. But at some point, I discovered mysteries. And the first mystery series that I discovered was the Trixie Belden series. So this particular story was originally written in 1948. It's called The Secret of the Mansion. And it is kind of how she and her friends figure out what's going on in their Sleepy Side town of Sleepy Side, New York. Is actually, it's funny that that's what it's called. But this is a great series. In fact, there's a story that my mom likes to tell. When I was younger and living in the city of Chicago, I would go to the local bookstore, which was a Walden Books, and I would spend the day. I was much younger than my brother, so I was alone a lot of the time. And I would spend the afternoon at the bookstore just reading books because we couldn't afford to buy them. So I would read them at the bookstore. And one day I was there so long that the mall closed down. The gate was down on the store. And when the worker walked back and discovered me there, he's like, "Oh, well, you got to go. The mall is closed. The store is closed." And he had to undo the gate and let me out. And I was very disappointed because I hadn't finished the book. So Trixie Belden, I'm so glad that they're re-releasing it for younger people. So you look at this, I'll read the back of it. Trixie Belden is bracing for one boring summer. Her lucky older brothers are away at camp, so she is stuck babysitting. But when a new girl, Honey, moves into town, Trixie finally has the chance to make a best friend, and Honey isn't the only fresh face. The girl spies someone inside a nearby house, which is curious because Trixie knows her grumpy old neighbor, Mr. Frame, is sick at the hospital. There's only one reason why someone would go poking around the rundown manor. They must be looking for the fortune that is said to be hidden on the property. But that's only a rumor, right? Trixie wished for an adventure, and she might just get her most exciting summer yet. So, for those curious girls who like to explore things and solve problems, Trixie Belden I would highly recommend. So once I graduated from Trixie Belden, I went on to Sherlock Holmes, which I enjoyed, but what I really found my love was for Agatha Christie. So starting with The Mysterious Affair at Styles. So this is one of the, if you haven't heard of Agatha Christie, you need to look her up. She's the most prolific English writer after Shakespeare. It's just someone knows her. She's written so much. Most of the books that I have at home are like 1960s, just really cheap thrift store books, but they have really lurid covers. They're awesome, from the 60s. But this one, she's the world's best-selling mystery writer. The Mysterious Affair at Styles was published to instant acclaim, launching what became the unparalleled career of the Queen of Mystery. Agatha Christie herself had a mysterious disappearance shortly after she split from her husband at the time, Archie Christie. And that's kind of a sad story if you read about that, but it was something that made just national news in England. It was really extraordinary. This one is Hercule Poirot. This is my favorite detective of hers. And David Suchet has done a brilliant depiction of him in more modern depictions of Hercule Poirot. I think he's the best at portraying what Hercule is described as. So learning the history of Hercule Poirot was interesting as well. He was a police detective in Belgium. He was in World War I, and he came to England as a refugee. So the story about him is really fascinating. And then one of her other big um, detectives isn't really like a professional detective, but more just a very intelligent, again, older woman. And this is the Miss Marple series. So Miss Marple has been around for a long time, portrayed in television and movies by many, many different actresses. I think Geraldine McEwen is the best. But these are shorter stories because she's just relying on the wisdom of her knowledge, and she connects it to other things that she knows and ends up being correct about who did the crime or who solved, who kind of is the cause of the mystery. So um, I don't know if mysteries are your thing, but they're my thing. So definitely check them out and explore. If you don't, I would encourage you to read the stories because you can see it in your mind. But if you wanted to check out David Suchet or Geraldine McEwen, check out YouTube or something like that. You'll find videos, or I think there's Amazon Prime Geraldine McEwen is on. But definitely check them out. Have a great day. Thank you for joining me in the forest, and we'll see you next time. Bye.